Simplicity scales where complexity fails. If your business is so complex that you could never teach it to somebody else, that you could never duplicate it with someone else, that it's all in your head, that it's not clean, that it's not easy, that it's not simple, then unless you show up hard, full on, every single day, every single week, every single month, your business falls apart. And I promise you that's not sustainable. Hey, faithful agents, welcome back to another quick cut. Today, we're going to talk about probability versus possibility and why simplicity scales where complexity fails. Now, before we jump in, let me give you my Christian dad joke. A child was in church with their mother when they started to feel sick. "Can we leave now?" she asked. "No," their mother said. "But I'm going to throw up," the child insisted. The mother told them to go throw up outside behind a bush. So she left and returned a few moments later. "How'd you go outside so fast?" the mother asked. "I didn't have to go outside," the daughter said. "There's a box in the lobby that says for the sick." Just disgusting. All right, so how's that for a little bit of a warm up? So here's what we're talking about today. Probability versus possibility, and why simplicity scales where complexity fails. So we're going to make this quick. First and foremost, most agents build their business on possibility when they should be building their business on probability. Now, what do I mean? I have coached countless number of agents who have shown me their lead generation strategy. It's got 8 different pieces to it. It is so well built out, and I look them in the face and say, that is the best lead generation strategy I have ever seen in my entire life. You're going to sell 5,000 houses if you do that this year. But the problem often is we build our strategies with the assumption that everything in our lives is going to go right. And I don't know about you, but I've never had a year that went exactly according to plan, that nothing interrupted what I was trying to accomplish. Nothing, quote unquote, got in the way. When my mom passed in October 2022, I promised that wasn't part of the plan. So if I had built a strategy around everything's going to be perfect all throughout the year, no one I love is going to get sick, no one in my church family is going to need my help, I'm not going to need to take time off here because I got sick, or whatever the scenario is, that's how we tend to think about our lead generation. Here's what happens. We set it up in such a way that we have to be perfect. And a month or two in, maybe we've got a little bit of motivation going in, but a month or two in, we stop. We say, man, I haven't done that. I haven't been paying attention to it. I don't know how many times I know agents who said, I just bought this 12-month lead system and I'm supposed to be getting on the phones every single day. And these 100 quote unquote leads are coming in all the time. But I haven't done anything and I'm so far behind. I'm only 3 months in, but I don't know what to do with it. I don't know that I'm going to jump into it. We often make decisions like that. What's possible? Well, a lot of things are possible. I'm 5'6¾". Could I dunk a basketball? I mean, probably not, but is it possible? Sure, it's possible, but that's not the question. What's most probable? What's actually going to get done? And so agents, when you're making decisions in your business, I want you to stop thinking about, is it possible? And I want you to start thinking about, is this probable? So when I'm helping someone build out their lead generation strategy, I say, write down everything that you want to do for the year. You might have your 8 strategies. That's totally okay to begin with for your first draft. And then the question is simple. What's the probability that you'll actually execute all of this for the entire year? And assume something along the way is going to trip you up. You're going to get sick. Someone you love is going to need your help, right? What we just talked about. Something along the way is going to trip you up and interrupt what's going on in your day-to-day business. So in that mindset, we don't know what it's going to be. And Lord willing, maybe that won't happen. But we don't know what it's going to be. But something's going to trip you up. What's the probability that you're going to execute this no matter what happens? And until the answer is 90 to 100%. Until the agent has cut out enough. So we start cutting. When they show up with complexity, which is going to fail, I work towards simplicity, which is the only thing that will scale. By that, I mean, you've got 8 things. That's amazing. Now we just start asking the question, what's the probability that I'm going to execute all of this no matter what? And until the answer is 90 to 100%, we cut it. So maybe we go through a round and we cut a bunch of stuff out and say, what's the probability? And you say, say, I don't know, maybe 80%, it's still too complicated. Cut something out. And then we keep cutting until it is so simple that no matter what happens in your life, there's a 90 to 100% chance you execute. My system is so easy for me to execute with this mindset. I'm not thinking about what's possible. I'm thinking about what's probable. That, praise the Lord, in 2022, my system was set up this way that even when I lost my mom and I took a month off, 2 weeks at the end of September, 2 weeks after she passed to be with my dad, I still did the lead generation I knew I needed to do to keep my business moving forward. Because most agents have a business design problem, not necessarily a motivation problem. You're really motivated if you're not making sales. But here's what often happens. We have a little bit of activity. We push to do lead generation. Now all the deals come through. We get busy working the deals. And then what happens? We forgot about the lead generation we were supposed to do because it was going to take so much time anyways. And now we fall back into a rut. Got to lead generate. Got to get those deals again. Now we have deals. Now we fall apart on our lead generation. And it just becomes this really vicious, dangerous cycle. Agents are hurting right now. We're struggling. We're not making the sales that we thought we were going to make. We're not making the money that we thought we were going to make. How do we fix that problem? Simplify. Instead of possibility, think probability. When you look at anything you're designing, is there a 90 to 100% chance that I can be excellent at the execution of this plan? Because at the end of the day, my friends, excellence is the standard that the Lord has for us. So I was talking to an agent just the other day. She said, I want to start a podcast. I want to start a local podcast so I can use it to generate deals. In the same conversation, she had told me her real estate business was good, selling 25 homes, but she didn't have any systems or really expectation or understanding of how to build that out, right? She had a system problem. But she wanted to start this podcast. Here was my answer to her. I said, I love that idea. I love podcasting. Obviously, I'm doing it right now. I want to help you figure that out. But that's not next. What's next is we've got to figure out your systems and your processes in your business because you're not excellent there first. Let's become excellent there first. Let's make sure that it's so simple. There's a 90 to 100% probability you're going to do what you need to do. And then, and only then, once we figure that out, then we move to the podcast and we make that excellent and we get it to whatever we need to do. And what we've set up is 90 to 100% chance we're going to execute on that. Simplicity scales, complexity fails. The tortoise and the hare, the famous fable, be the tortoise, not the hare. Every single day, show up, do the right thing to push your mind and business forward. That's what winning actually looks like. It's relatively boring. I've done the same thing every single month for 10 years and I've never missed. That's why my business is at 50 sales every single year. That's why I can do it in under 40 hours a week because I've created the simplicity that allows me to create the consistency. My friends, simplicity scales where complexity fails. If your business is so complex that you could never teach it to somebody else, that you could never duplicate it with someone else, that it's all in your head, that it's not clean, that it's not easy, that it's not simple, then unless you show up hard, full on, every single day, every single week, every single month, your business falls apart. And I promise you, that's not sustainable. Even if it's worked up until now, that's not sustainable. What I want you to look at and say, what is the easiest path for me to sell X number of homes and make X amount of money? If you do that, what's the probability? 90 to 100%, fantastic. Execute, execute, execute. Make it easy. Make it simple. Don't listen to the industry noise that says you got to be on the phone 3 hours a day if that's not possible and probable for you. Maybe you're a stay-at-home mom. You're like, I've got 2 hours a day. Okay, what's probable? 90 to 100%, what can you do in that time to move your business forward? Think probability, not possibility. Remember that simplicity scales where complexity fails. I hope this quick cut has been a blessing to you. Have an amazing week. Hey, Christian Agent, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If it resonated, would you take 30 seconds and share it with another agent who's also trying to grow their business without losing their faith, family, or peace? That's how this message spreads. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future episodes. I release new ones each Thursday to help you build success that actually lasts. It genuinely fires me up knowing this podcast is helping you pursue excellence to the glory of God, both at work and at home. I'll meet you back here next week for another episode of The Faithful Agent.